Hey guys, what is up? It's Coach Kwok here. And in this video, I'm going to go through the result sheets with you guys. Now, this is the second video. Obviously, my first video talks about the actual result sheets that you got for the first time. So this is your second scan with me. So I want to take you through some information that can help you make adjustments. If you need to make adjustments, maybe your muscle, or your body fat or the BMR and so forth. So I'll go through some adjustments that you would need to apply if the results are not going your way. And also, I want you to also be conscious of what you're doing correct. So if you lost a lot of body fat and you gain muscle, awesome. We want to keep doing those key principles that you're applying within your health and nutrition. So you guys all know my story. I don't want to go through it too long, but I've been a personal trainer for about 10 years now. Understood exercise and how to coach and implement these principles with exercise, but nutrition, I didn't really know too much. And it was always a subject that I was, not qualified in or anything like that, but applied key principles after doing research and really got really good results to them. And I've shared that with my clients as well, and they've got amazing results. But I just want to let you guys know now, I'm not a qualified nutritionist. So if you need specific nutrition advice, please definitely go and see a nutritionist for that. But I just want to share with you my experience of what I've applied, key principles, and what my clients have applied as well that has gotten them results on the scan. So started January this year. I made a promise to myself to try to get in the best shape of my life. I was at 15% body fat, and 4 months later, I've lost 3.8 kilos of body fat, and I'm about 10.5% in that picture there. But I'm right now, I just gave myself this morning, I'm 9.5%. And I've been that for about, 2 months now. And I'm still enjoying my life, eating really good food, not restricting in that type of way where I'm just eating chicken and broccoli. I still go out and have meals with my friends and so forth. I still enjoy those aspects of life, but I'm just more consistent with eating healthier and obviously training. So that's sort of what I've implemented the last couple of months. So I'm still doing quite well with my personal nutrition and exercise, and I want you guys to obviously do the same when you get your scans, and keep this journey of health ongoing. So let's get straight into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the mindset. Now, I've done a lot of scans for a lot of people. I've talked to people after a bad scan where they've lost muscle or gained body fat even, right? And the mentality, guys, is the most important thing. Now, there's two types of mentality that I'm going to go through. It's the victim or the victor. Sometimes this might sound harsh, but this is what reality is. So every test in our life makes us bitter or better. Every problem comes to break us or make us. The choice is whether we become a victim or victor. So it's essentially saying whatever your results are, you need to have the victor mentality about solutions, about ways to make changes or become better. Because if you get caught up emotionally on why this is happening to yourself or why this is happening to me, or get negative or down on yourself, which is the victim mentality, it's very hard to get out of that. And you're not going to get the results that you desire long term, right? So you can't expect to have a victor. So you can't expect to be a victor if you're living with victim mentalities. So the reason why I discuss this first is I want to prepare your mindset right now, because either you've got a scan already and you've seen the results, whether it's good or bad, you stay emotionally kind of neutral, right? Because it is about developing long-term healthy habits that you can sustain for the rest of your life. If you got a result that you're not happy with, that's okay as well, right? We're all humans. Life always, gets in the way, but we have to have a victim mentality towards that and a strong mindset to keep pushing and working to get better each time. The monthly sort of scans that I recommend clients get is a check-in of where you are in life or where you are right now. things in life could have happened where, you lost your job or a family situation happened. That's fine. All these things happen. But we have to do a monthly check-in to see where our health is at with our nutrition and exercise, and make adjustments from that to become better and work towards our goals. So that's the mindset piece that I want to talk to you guys about. The next piece is about our scan. So the first thing I want you guys to do is pull out both sheets for me. So the scan you got in a month ago and your recent scan. And I want you to look at the first figure, which is the water, the total body water. So remember I said that the main figure, that's what you scanned at, and the brackets are the parameters you're meant to be at. So you want to be at the high range. As we know, there's some benefits of water on the left side there. But 70% of our muscle is made out of water. So if you're training to build muscle, you're going to need water to make sure the muscle is functioning properly so you can lift more weights. So you feel stronger, and obviously that's going to build lean muscle tissue as well. And also if you want to lose body fat, it's super important to have enough water because it helps detoxify our body as well. Those are two key important things I talk about with clients and drinking water. So if you forgot the calculation, that's all good. It's your body weight times 0.033, and that will give you the amount of liters you're meant to drink per day. So let me know if that figure has gone up or down or stay the same. Okay, we want to try to get it at the higher parameters. Okay, so that's the water part component. It's very simple. The next part is the muscle mass, or the protein. Now, the nitrogen and the protein. So this figure is situated there on your sheet. Okay, now this figure correlates directly to your skeletal muscle mass. Okay, whether you lose muscle or gain muscle is pretty much reliant on this figure, because we all know that protein is the building block for muscle rebuilding. Okay, so if we don't have enough protein in our body and you exercise, you're going to lose muscle. So I pulled up a case study of one of my clients. They got a scan on the 7th of Jan, 2021, and their second scan was the 10th of February, 2021. So their first scan, they're just getting back into gym, right? So he got a scan on the 7th, and he said to me, I want to get back to the gym. I want to lose some weight and want to build some lean muscle. And I was like, okay, great. This is the amount, I did my whole thing, calculate the protein for him per meal, worked out his BMR, told him about MyFitnessPal and all that stuff, okay? So I've set him up nicely. So he goes on his way for about a month and does his training and so forth. And next month he comes back to me on the 10th of Feb. We do a scan, and on the scan it shows that his protein has gone down. So you can see the first numbers there, 15.2 to 14.6. So that number went down, and also his muscle went down. So he actually lost 1.7 kilos of lean muscle tissue and gained 2.2 kilos of body fat. Okay. So I'm gonna say that again. He lost 1.7 kilos of muscle. That is a lot of muscle to lose in a 4-week period. And then also on top of that, he put on 2.2 kilos of body fat. Now I said to him, the reason why this happened is you didn't have enough protein and you trained more than what you did before. So therefore you actually broke muscle down, you lost muscle, right? And your body was like, you're losing muscle that quickly, right? In that 4-week period, your body goes into like a sort of like starvation mode or a panic mode, and starts to gain body fat because it thinks you're in like a drought or something with no food, right? So the body starts to put on that body fat in case something happens, because we all know that if we're in a drought or something and we can't get the food, your body can survive off body fat better than muscle, right? So someone who has, 50% body fat compared to my 9%, I'm going to probably die first before he does, right? Because his body can live off that body fat for longer periods than myself, which I don't have that much fat to live off. So I'll probably end up going first, right? So anyway, we got this scan. He's lost muscle, gained body fat, and we need to make adjustments. Okay, so I said, look, let's get on MyFitnessPal. Let's track it. Let's make sure we do the protein amount. And he was all good. He had the really strong mindset. So some key takeaways for this. So to learn off his experiences, we don't learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on our experience. So we're going to reflect on his experience so you guys have that knowledge. So he wasn't consistent with his tracking on MyFitnessPal. I checked that. So he didn't really track at all. He didn't make a conscious decision to eat the amount of protein per meal. He started to lift more weights, as I said before, and didn't have much protein. Ultimately, he lost muscle mass from this. He wasn't consistent with preparing meals. After his scan, he did have a victim mentality though. He wasn't emotional by it. He understood what he needed to do, and he was willing to make those changes. Okay, and that's the key takeaway of his experience, guys. Okay, so we do the same case study again. So he gets a scan in March. All right, these are the results again, and then we do another scan in May. Okay, so this is probably an 8-week block. Yep, so an 8-week block. As you can see, the protein went from 14.8 to 15.6, right? And his lean muscle tissue, actually, he gained 2.4 kilos of lean muscle. So 2.4 kilos of muscle in 8 weeks. That's quite impressive, guys. If you're gaining that much muscle, you know his protein is up, right? As you can see by the first number, but also the training is there as well. Okay. So just by that scan, guys, he had the right mindset and made those adjustments, and therefore he got the results in 8 weeks' time. Okay. So that's just an example of how important that the nitrogen level in the protein is. So I want you guys to check that on your sheet. If that's gone down, we need to, get on the MyFitnessPal and be conscious of how much protein we need per meal and so forth. Okay. So if you lost muscle, the only way to check this is on your MyFitnessPal. Okay. I'm going to show you in a minute how to do that. So let's go back to your first. Hopefully you guys know these stats off by heart, because you should know how much protein per meal you're eating. But I'm going to show you a calculation that does it per day. So it's your body weight times 2.2. That will equal the amount of grams of protein per day. So how does this work? Well, you go to MyFitnessPal, you go to macros, and you click weekly view. And what's good about this is you can see the protein for the daily view at the bottom there. And then you can see the protein for the whole week. And all you do is divide that by 7, because 7 days, right? And you'll get your average protein per day. So in this case scenario, it's 168 grams, right? So that means I'm eating enough protein, because it's over 138 grams per day I need. It's 168. And I've been maintaining my muscle. So if I want to increase muscle, I have to eat above this as well. Okay, so that's the only way you can track. And that's why it's important to do our MyFitnessPal, guys, because I can go back and see my stats straight away and make those adjustments for my overall health. Okay, so that's that. Hopefully you guys can make use of that. Just double check that for me on your FitnessPal app. Okay, so let's go and move to the body fat mass. So our goal here is to lose body fat, not to lose weight, because weight is a generalized number with muscle and body fat. Our goal is to see that body fat mass go down. So this is my second case study, about a month between these scans. So this client, 4-week period, lost 2.2 kilos of body fat and went from 12.6% body fat to 10% body fat. Now, as a male client, so 10%, that's quite lean. And he managed to do this in a 4-week period. Same principles as I talked about before, the tracking, understanding his BMR, and a little tip was to try to keep his carbs between 100 to 150 grams. He maintained that muscle, dropped it a little bit, like 0.3, but that's fine. So long as it didn't, drop like a kilo or 2 kilos or something crazy like that, that's fine, because he did lose 2.2 kilos of body fat, which is awesome to see. So that's that. Just just calculate that for me, guys. See how much body fat you lost. That's a really good indication. Yeah. So So that's that. At the bottom, you'll see a history of all your tracking. So, you know, once you get multiple scans, it'll all be logged there for you guys. So you can see your muscle mass, your body fat percentage, and so forth. Your in-body score is out of 100. So this number will go up and down slightly depending on your muscle and your body fat. So the higher your muscle mass, the lower your body fat, the higher your score, okay? We look at also the fat control, which is the most important one, as we want to lose body fat, and also the muscle control as well, how much muscle we need to gain. And then the bottom there is just showing us if we're balanced or not, upper, lower body. Okay, so that's that section, pretty simple. Okay, we're going to move to another case study here, and we're going to go to the segmental fat analysis. Now, once we lose body fat, right, let's say we lost 5 kilos, we can see where that body fat is lost. So I need you to get out your sheet and look at these numbers on your limbs and see how much body fat we've lost. So this case study number 3 of this client, they lost 400 grams on their arms. They lost 400 grams on their left arm and right arm, sorry, on their trunk, so their midsection and stomach. They've lost 3.9 kilos, and this is a 6-week block, 3.9 kilos of body fat off his stomach. That's awesome. 700 grams of fat on his legs, and so 700 grams of fat on both legs. So I want you guys go to your sheet and see how much body fat you've lost on your arms, trunk, and legs, and compare that. And the last thing we want to compare is our visceral fat. The visceral fat, we want it under 10. Okay, so we can sort of work towards that number. And also we just check our BMR. If you lost muscle, the BMR is going to go slightly down, but we just want to be mindful of where our BMR is at, and we can adjust that on our MyFitnessPal. And that's the comparison sheet for you guys. If you guys got any questions, just message me on the Facebook page, the Live Well body scan page, and I can help you on there. Okay. But I just want to recap with some tips that the key principles that sort of helped myself and a lot of my clients. The first one is go back to your why. When you feel like quitting, remember why you started. That's so important, guys, because if your why is not that strong and you lose that motivation, you really haven't connected to the sole reason why you're on this journey. Think about your kids, think about your partner, think about your families, think about the way it makes you feel. Think about that important emotional connection of why you started this journey. And you got to go back to that. Okay. The second tip is your mindset. Remember the victor or victim mentality. Obviously, we want the victim mentality, the person that's always going to find solutions, the person that always wants to strive to get better and find the information to become a better person. So the mindset piece is very important as well. You want to be consistent. If you're persistent, you will get it. If you're consistent, you will keep it. And that's so true, guys. I've been tracking the food for the last 90 days. So it's 3 months. I started out with just doing once a week straight. That was my goal. Then it became a month straight. Then it became 2 months. And now I'm on 90 days straight of tracking. And it's really helped me understand about my health goals and nutrition as well. Tracking it, I've said it 1,000 times. Use the MyFitnessPal and track it, because that's the only way we'll be mindful about the foods we're eating. And that's how the most you will learn from is if you do it yourself. And then accountability. So I personally use a sheet as my accountability. Every week I scan in and see where I'm at with my muscle mass and body fat. Every day I track on my phone just to make sure that I'm accountable to what I'm eating as well. I suggest you guys obviously get your scans each month, but also have someone there that you can be accountable to, whether it's people at your gym, your partner, someone, your friend that you're doing with. I need you to be accountable and start an accountability group or partner, because that's going to keep you motivated and on track. Okay. And the last thing is support, as I said before. So the Live Well Body Scan Support Tribe group, I can help you if you have any questions on that. But that's pretty much it, guys. I look forward to seeing you at your next scan, and I will talk to you guys soon. See you guys.